Good morning. This is Perrin Cornell with Coldwell Banker here in Wenatchee, and it's almost the end of June, end of 6 months of the year. So we're halfway through the year, and which is hard to believe. And it's time to maybe take a look and see where we went this year as opposed to what some of the people were saying early on. I don't think you'll see it was near as bad as what people have been saying. And the future looks pretty good too. So we want to go cover all of those kinds of things. And then when we're done with that, then we're going to take a look at one of our newest listings over on 15th Street, Northeast and East Wenatchee. And it's kind of a unique home, and it was on the market for just a few days, I think 4, before we received an offer on it. But anyway, let's get started. Let's just jump right into it. It's a good time to learn about what's going on in the market. One of the things I'm going to want to do here is share my screen. So let me get that going. All right. And then I click here, and now we're going to be sharing the screen. I don't want this in here. So we'll just move that, and that way it doesn't show up. Okay. One of the first things to talk about is just some general notations about the market, where the market is, and what it's been doing. And these residential real estate trends, these are things we saw through the first 6 months of the year. Market dynamics are influencing adjustments in housing prices, but with very constricted inventory. You know, market dynamics always influence, but we haven't had the constricted inventory like we do right now. We started the year short 500,000 units for the nation, and we ended last year that way, and then started last year that way, and now we started this year that way. So we haven't really dug in very deep into the demand side of the business. So there's a huge demand out there for new homes, but the constricted inventory is holding the activity down. And but there are more available, and there are more buyers available, and people are able to get qualified. So the market is kind of increasing a little bit. It went down, but we'll talk about that as we go along. Homes that are well priced continue to receive multiple offers. Anytime you price a home, you have to price it at the right price. If you do that, your house is going to sell, and probably for more money. But in this market, we're still getting some multiple offers. Now, last year at this time, we were talking about 4, 10. I even heard of some that were 20 offers that they received on their home. It's not that goofy at all. In fact, it's much more reasonable than that. Excuse me, my morning coffee. But certainly, most of the home sales I've been involved in this year had at least 2, maybe 3 offers on them. So that's still going on. Market activity and lead volume is increasing in Central Washington with our transition from winter to summer. It is, but it is in only certain areas of the market. And that's part of what the problem is. We'll go into some of those numbers too, but it is increasing, and the sales are increasing. What happened to spring? I don't know, boy. It was here for a day or two, and then it was gone. And then all of a sudden we were in 100-degree days last week, and it looks like this week's going to be some more of that kind of thing. There's a very active entry home market, probably the most active we've seen in a long time. Active home market. I'm going to say those from 250 to, well, maybe even 450 or 500, but especially from 250 to 350 or 4. Demand exceeds, and there's just not enough homes on that market. And that has 2 effects. Number one, there's not enough homes to feed that market. But the second thing is the people in let's say the $400,000 price range, when they sell, they tend to move up 1.5%. So now that's fodder for the $600,000 market. Because we can't meet that demand in that 3 to 4, we're not getting enough sales in that are going to feed the higher ends of the market. And you will see how that has affected the market going forward, okay? So with that one done, let's try this next one here. This is a little more detail about the market. The average home price in Central Washington rose 4.3% year over year to $489,000. That's the average home price in North Central Washington. However, prices are down 5.3% from the third quarter of 22. So the prices have come down, but they are increasing. Median listing prices fell in every county except Kittitas compared to the third quarter of 2022. sellers in most areas, not Chelan, the Lake Chelan area is a market all unto itself, are being more realistic about prices, given where the current mortgage rates are. More on mortgage rates too. They're going to be improving in the near future. All counties other than Douglas saw prices rise year over year, with an increase of more than 10% in Kittitas County. We have an office down in that part of the state. But prices fell across the board compared to the third quarter of 2022. Okay, again, I think we knew that. It was about 5%. Well, actually, the median home price in Washington was $618, down 5% year over year. And the median sales price growth is expected to drop by 4%, the first annual drop since 2012. That's an annual drop, but it was at 5 or 6%. So actually it's coming up a little bit to recover only at 4%. The average home value in Washington was $579, representing a 5.2 decrease over the past year. So that's some of the general information about the market. Let's bring it home and get a little more specific. Well, first of all, let's look at what the National Association says is going to happen. Total home sales, new and existing, bottoming this year before upturning next year. So if you take a look at it, we're looking like at 2023. Here we are. It's down a little bit, just over 5 million. Okay. But coming up more than it was last year, which was last year was just about 6 million. So more than a million sales moving up. So that's all good news for the market. It's good news for buyers, and it's good news for sellers. It gives sellers more opportunity, because more homes at different prices are an opportunity for sellers to sell theirs and have it compared to someone else. And for buyers, it gives them more opportunity too, because there's more to choose from. All right. Now, this is a report that I get once a month from a local appraisal company, and their numbers are similar to ours, but they are slightly different simply because theirs is the whole market. That is, I mean, no, it's not just the MLS, it's private sales too. And so that gets factored in, though typically private sales are a little lower than MLS sales, but in any event, it all gets factored in. And there's quite a bit to think about. Total sales were 78. That was for the month, which was down 7% from June 2022, where they were 84. Years past, it hasn't been uncommon to see, say, total sales in any given month, especially June, May, those months, of 120, maybe 150. So you can see where the total market is. It's moving. We're selling product, but it's not at the rate that it used to be at. Okay. Closed sales year to date. And this one's kind of interesting if you take a look at it here. Let's see, closed sales year to date, we had down 21%. 427 sales have closed year to date. Now, these are residential sales, okay, versus 339 this year versus 427 last year. So you can see there's about just about 100 homes difference, about a 20% difference. And that's, of course, it is. That says 21%. Average days on the market, 78 days. There was a period of time last year where we were looking at average days on the market in the 40s and even going down into the high 30s. Now that's at 78 days. Pendings are about 94 days on the market. Okay. Let's look at the active listings. This is another good benchmark to take a look at. We got 134 listings in the month of June. That was up 16% from May of 2023, but it was down 15% from June of 2022. So you can see we're coming up from where we were, but we're still not where we were last year at this time, which I think everybody is generally aware of. But let's get a little more specific. The hottest part of our market is between $300,000 and $500,000. Okay, so if we look, this number of sales in the last 6 months, on those price ranges, 300 to 400,000. Well, I'm even going to go out to 500,000. You can see there was 69, 103 at 4 to 5, and 65 at 501 to 800. But that's where the bulk of the sales are, because notice that every month after that, it drops down. Also, numbers of actives. See, in the 300 to 400, we have, let's see, a number of actives. We got 29. The next rate, we got 56. My bifocals are deceiving me here. In the next group, we have 32. But look out here in the million and 2 million ones, we've got 14 and 6 out there too. So we've got quite a few inventory out in that end. And finally, the last thing to take a look at here is the indicated permanent supply, the indicated supply by month. In other words, selling at the rate that we're selling at, in the 300 to 400,000 will sell out in 2.5 months. In the 400 to 500,000 will sell out in 3.3 months. And in the 5 to 6 in 3 months. Okay. But then look what happens. We move up to the 600 to 7. Remember, I said there was a hole in the market. Well, 600 to 7, all of a sudden we're up to 4.3 months. 700 to 800, you're up to 8 months, I guess. No, that's 6 months. Like I said, bifocals. I'm getting my glasses changed this month. And then 800 to 900, we're up to 8.3 months. And look at out here in the higher price, 10 to 12 months, with an average of 3.9. An average of 3.9, and I want to highlight that one too. Now, the thing to remember about those numbers is that the market at where we are now, if you are on the market historically for more than 6 months, it becomes a seller's market. If you're on the market for under 6 months, excuse me, I got that backwards. If you're on the market for more than 6 months, it becomes a buyer's market. If you're on the market for less than 6 months, it becomes a seller's market. Now, that's not a hard data number, but it is a number we've looked at and followed for as a good rule of thumb for quite a while now. So it looks like the market is starting to wake up. The market is starting to come out of some of the doldrums. Prices are getting a little better than where they were. And the good news is that several different organizations now are talking about possibility of interest rates in the 5 to 5.5% range by mid-fall, which would, if you drop $100,000, or rather, if you drop 1%, you can increase your purchasing ability at around the $500,000 mark. So that's going to have multiple good facts or good effect on the market. Anyway, this is Perrin Cornell, Coldwell Banker. Still haven't finished my morning coffee, so I'm still just a tad tongue-tied. But anyway, it was fun talking with you. And if you have any questions, feel free to call me, Perrin Cornell, Coldwell Banker, 509-669-0354, or drop by our offices at 135 North Mission, Coldwell Banker, Cascade. Look forward to talking to you later, and look forward to any questions you might have.